Are you the one who is always caretaking everyone else, fixing everything? Feels like you're carrying the weight of the entire world. Everyone's emotional happiness is your responsibility. And you pour all of your energy into keeping your friends and your family as happy as you can be. And yet, no one ever seems to be as happy or stay as happy as you need them to be. But you're left feeling exhausted, drained, that sense of guilt that you somehow not performed this magical role of keeping everyone comfortable and happy, and just a little bit lost. What if the secret to actually creating that happiness for them and also for yourself is letting go, not controlling so much, not trying so hard? Because then you open up the possibilities of true, authentic connections, and you will feel more relaxed and happier in your own well being because you are stuck in this responsibility trap. So, does this sound familiar? A friend rings up with a problem, just sharing what's some issue going on in their life, and automatically you're rushing in trying to think, how can I solve it? You're making plans in your head of what could make it better, what could make things easier for them. Or you're at a family meal and there's some kind of tension or dis-ease, and you feel this automatic responsibility to try and smooth it over, keep everyone happy, and lighten the mood. And I do know the feeling. I've read strangers' posts on online and felt this urge, this responsibility to go in and offer my help or suggestions and solutions, not just because the solutions have come up, but that need to try and make someone feel better, that sense that you are responsible for everyone else's happiness. And you're probably doing this while already drowning in your own responsibilities and abandoning your own needs while you're rushing in and caretaking everyone else, because you've become the emotional caretaker for everyone, the designated fixer. And when people are counting you on this way, the problem is it can feel really good. It can feel like you have a purpose, like you're important, like you matter. But there is a dark side to this emotional fixer because you are carrying this weight constantly, this responsibility of everybody else's happiness. And that's exhausting. And it does mean that you are not caretaking yourself. Because let's be honest, this pattern probably started in childhood, where you were either responsible for someone else's emotional well being, you felt responsible if they were happy or sad or angry or annoyed, or maybe you had to caretake other siblings. So that you learn it was your role, your job, to manage other people's emotions and feelings. And to do that, you also learn you'd have to hide or neglect your own. And if you got praised every time you were good, helpful, or easygoing, that even more internalizes this sense of identity that I am lovable, I am acceptable when I'm caretaking other people, when I'm responsible and do a good job at looking after everybody else's happiness. So this isn't just a bad habit that you've learnt. It was a survival pattern to feel safe, to feel that you were accepted and loved and wouldn't be rejected in your relationships. And the problem is that is a trap because your entire sense of self-worth and your sense of identity is now rested on helping other people. So anytime that help doesn't pan out how you wanted to, you feel like you failed. Or anytime that you are wanting to rush in and you know that you haven't got the time to, you're abandoning your own needs, which leads to resentment, exhaustion, and just that sense that you don't matter. Because when you're tuning into everybody else's needs, you do lose touch with what you need, what you want, and can feel just completely lost in this sea of looking out for anyone's upsets, ready, anxious, and alert to run in and fix everything. But the problem is, you can't make another person happy. That's an inside job. It's their job, and it is not your responsibility, especially when it means losing your own happiness to do it. And when you're constantly swooping in, diving to try and solve everyone's problems and look after them, you will burn out. It's impossible not to. And I say this with kindness. You're also robbing other people the chance to fix their own problems, to build their own resilience, to feel that they can trust themselves, they can stand on their own without needing your help and support to rescue them, to save them, to help them. And it's also teaching those who will happily take your energy and ask you to fix things and make you feel guilty if you don't. It's teaching them that's okay. It's teaching them that's acceptable, that your energy should be given to them before it's given to you. And you deserve better than that. So if taking on everyone else's happiness and always trying to keep them comfortable and fix things isn't actually going to solve anything and never make you happy, what is the alternative? The answer is both simple, but can also feel a bit frightening. You need to let go of that responsibility. Now, I know that the word just let it go can make people want to run a mile, and it can bring up panic and just huge resistance inside of you. So just stick with me, because at the end of this video, we are going to go through a letting go technique where you can start to shift and release that feeling that you are this responsible person who has to caretake everybody else. And letting go of this responsibility is not about becoming selfish or cold. It's about recognizing what belongs to you and what belongs to them, where you're sabotaging your own life by keeping hold of this responsibility, and just seeing that it's not a necessary thing in life. It's not your job role, and it's time to get rid of it, to let it go. And this will build healthier, more loving and caring and authentic connections, which you will find rewarding and the other person will also benefit much more from. It's about moving from I am the caretaker of all to I can care about people and they can care about me. There's an equal balance of give and take. And another key to this solution is creating those healthy boundaries. And I know that it can feel hard. And there is a link below in the description to my guilt free boundary tips if you want to download that. If you're really serious about making this change, those boundaries have to be put in place. Healthy boundaries aren't about putting up walls and pushing people away, they're about providing clear instructions to people about your expectations and also communicating that you respect your own energy and you are looking after caretaking your needs, even if you want to also look after theirs. And one of the first stages of letting go of that responsibility is really truly recognizing that you are not responsible for everybody else's emotions. They're not yours. They're not yours to carry. And it is also up to the other person to process them and understand them and grow within their own lives and their own emotions. Their sadness or anger is theirs to experience, theirs to process, and it's an act of respect to give them the space and the kindness and the time to do that for themselves. When you let them have those feelings without rushing in and trying to fix them, you are showing them that you trust that they can look after themselves, which means they learn that they can look after themselves. And they also start to recognize that you are not responsible for coming in and looking after them and their emotions. And there may well be some people in your life who are very good at creating the illusion that you are responsible for their emotions. And that guilt tripping aspect, that manipulation, we will look at another day. But first of all, it's more important for you to start to recognize that it's just simply not your role. It's not your role. Everyone else's happiness. As I say, we'll come back at a later date and look at what happens when someone tries to push onto you the fact that they believe it should be your role. And the second way of stopping feeling so responsible for everyone's happiness is getting even more comfortable with the word no, which goes hand in hand with the boundaries. And it's letting go of that sense that people will be angry of you, they'll be disappointed that you're not allowed, that no means that you're selfish in some way. And saying no doesn't need a huge explanation. It doesn't need excuses. It can be as simple as, no, thank you, I can't make that. Or, no, sorry, I'm not available for that. And a third way to support this letting go is to move from the rescuer into the supporter role. As I say, this is not about being cold and distant and not being there for people, but if a friend comes to you with an issue or a problem, instead of rushing in with a solution, it's empathizing with them. It's saying, that sounds really hard. What do you think you're going to do about it? Rather than jumping in with what you think they should do and how you can help and how you can support them. And you can ask, is there any way that you would like help? You could suggest, you could make them know that you're available if that feels good and appropriate to your needs. But it's making sure that you're putting the power and the responsibility into their hands, that it's not yours. It's giving that distance away from everybody else's problems. And this completely changed the whole dynamics within the relationship because you're no longer the fixer, you're the supportive ally. You're the I'm standing beside you, which builds a more mutual respect, a more mutual trust, and a more authentic, deeper connection with people. And after a lifetime of taking on everyone else's needs as your responsibility, It can feel very blurry to recognize what actually is yours to carry and what is your responsibility and what is actually theirs. And there are a couple of questions that you can ask yourself to clarify these thoughts in your head. So now you can question, what is mine? What is actually mine to carry? Your reactions. Am I owning how I respond? Am I blaming it on someone else or giving false reactions just to keep the peace with them? Your needs. Have I even asked myself what I truly need just now? What am I sacrificing to look after other people's happiness? Your healing. Am I waiting for someone else to change so that I can feel better? Am I trying to fix others, to fix myself to feel worthy? Your choices. Am I choosing from alignment or from the fear of rocking the boat, causing upset or disappointment? Your boundaries. Am I setting limits? Am I telling people what my boundaries are? Or am I silently just hoping they're going to guess them and just naturally respect what I need? Your truth. Am I speaking up? Am I speaking my truth? Or am I editing myself to be more acceptable? And those are the only things which are your responsibility to carry, to truly carry. But it can be much harder to distinguish what is not yours to carry. And so again, you can ask the following questions. Others' moods and feelings. Are you making yourself small to keep the peace? Are you agreeing just to keep them happy? Are your actions based on trying to control or micromanage other people's moods? Did someone assign you responsibility for their actual feelings? Did you actually agree? Did you actually ask to carry this? They're triggers. We know that people get triggered by different things, but are you changing your behavior to keep other people comfortable? Are you walking on eggshells to keep them happy? Changing your choices to make sure that they don't upset anyone? Other people's healing? Are you trying to fix, rescue, or emotionally carry someone else? Would this person be okay if you didn't step in? And is helping them actually helping them grow, or is it just making you feel needed? Their opinions of you. Are you turning up and performing for approval instead of just being yourself when you're with them? Are you filtering parts of yourself or mirroring parts of them just to feel accepted and lovable? Their discomfort when you set a boundary. Because people aren't always going to like your boundaries, but you are not responsible for how they feel about it, what you're asking for, what you need, or what your truth is. So it can often feel like when you're seeing their reaction to a boundary that you're responsible for that, but you are not. And with these boundaries, do you stop yourself from putting them in, holding back from looking after your needs so that others won't feel challenged, disappointed, or upset with you? And a final big question to ask yourself, if you didn't feel obligated for everybody else's happiness, didn't feel guilty if you didn't make it your responsibility, would you still rush in? Would you still want to fix everything? Or would you feel a sense of relief and freedom? And if any of this is hitting home so far, do subscribe to the channel because we're going to be looking at a lot more different areas of guilt and responsibilities. And my channel very much focuses on people pleasers and creating inner safety and just starting to feel empowered and allowed to put your needs first. And let's look at how this is going to affect authentic connections with others. Because if people have been used to you rushing in so many times, this is going to be a period of adjustment for everyone. So it might feel weird at first. If people are used to being there 24/7 for them, dropping everything, you're always rushing in to support the one person they can rely on. There's going to be a period of adjustment, and that's okay. It might feel confusing for you and for them, and some people might feel quite upset by it. And again, that's not your responsibility. That's okay. Stay calm, stay grounded, just keep practicing, releasing and letting go of their happiness and recognizing what was never yours to carry in the first place. Because once these changes become more natural and ingrained in your life, you will see a significant change in the quality of your relationships. They will feel more authentic. You will have much more energy. You will find that they start to give support back to you. And when you are offering support or they've asked for support, it will feel more authentic rather than a place, a need to keep them happy or fix them. It will come from a genuine place of the heart where it's just people caring and connecting and looking after each other in equal balance. And your quality of life will change because you can finally start to focus and put your energy into your needs, your goals, your desires, what you need to create your own happiness. Because self care isn't selfish. You don't have to do anything to earn the right to look after yourself, to put your needs first, to look after your happiness. And the second huge change that you can see in relationships, especially if you really are the family fixer, the friendship fixer, the one who always rushes in, is you will see the confidence in those people around you start to grow when you stand back and they realize that they've got this, they can do this on their own. And even if they know you're still in the sidelines, loving them and wanting the best for them, but they have that inner resilience themselves. They can take care of themselves. They can look after their own lives. And when they start to see you not as a resource or something to lean on, the quality of the relationship just deepens, gets more authentic, and you'll find them wanting to help you more as well. So, again, today we're looking at shifting your inner role within yourself, and there will be trickier relationships which would push back at this, who rely on guilt and you being the fixer and their rescuer to maintain that relationships. But again, we are just focusing on creating that firm knowledge that your role is not to keep everyone else happy. And we will deal with those relationships later on. And the final big change that you'll see from giving back the responsibility of everyone else's happiness is you can find yourself again. You can connect to your own needs again. You can focus on you again because the chances are you have been feeling quite lost and exhausted amongst all of this. And without the identity of the fixer responsible for everybody else, you can recreate your own identity towards the life that you want to build for yourself. And you will build a sense of self that is not based on being useful or helpful to other people. And this is the ultimate freedom to be in relationships where you're not needed to be fixing or doing something. You're just in that relationship because you're loved for who you are. So today, let's get straight into a technique that can change those mindset patterns and those limiting beliefs that you are responsible for everybody else's happiness and start moving into focusing on your happiness, what you need. And the technique we're using today is EFT, otherwise known as tapping. And if you're new to tapping, it's a very, very simple technique. And all you'll need to do in this guided session is simply gently tap where I'm tapping on different parts of the face and body while just repeating and copying what I'm saying. And it is a very, very gentle, soft vibration. You're being kind to yourself today. And you don't need to remember the points we'll be using, but just to quickly run through them, we'll be tapping on the inner eyebrow, the outer eyebrow, the bone under the eye, the dip in the lip, dip in the chin, across the collarbone, where the bra strap is if you've got one, and on top of the head. But again, you don't need to remember that. You're just going to be simply copying and tapping where I'm tapping. And before we start the tapping session, I would just like you to tune into your body and the thoughts and feelings which come up when you think about being responsible for everyone else. So just think of that sense of responsibility and how it feels when you want to rush in, or how it feels when you feel you haven't done a good job at rescuing everyone else, keeping them happy. And just allow those thoughts and feelings to come into the body. And just recognize where they sit in the body, what they feel like. So does it feel like a tension? Does it feel like a weight? And before we start, I'd just like you to take a nice slow deep breath in and hold it at the top. Drop your shoulders down and softly out. And coming to the side of hand and starting to create that soft vibrational tap. And just repeating what I'm saying. Even though I feel so responsible for everyone else's happiness, it feels like my role. I can feel it in my body. But I'm so exhausted of this. Today I'm opening up to the possibility that I can let go of this, that I'm not responsible for everybody else's happiness. I'm responsible for mine. Even though I learnt that my value comes from helping others. It feels like my job role. It's what I'm responsible for. It keeps me lovable. Makes me feel useful. I'm open to the possibility. I don't have to earn love. I don't have to prove I'm useful. Today I choose to let go of this role. Today I'm responsible for my happiness. And I deeply and completely love and respect all of me. Even though I don't know how to let this go. It's such a big part of me. It feels like who I am. I'm open to the possibility this is not my role to carry. I'm open to the possibility this role is not me. In fact, it makes me lose me. And today I'm coming home. I'm letting go of this responsibility. I'm free from it today. I deeply and completely love and respect all of me. Today it is safe to choose me. And take a deep breath in and just gently tap across your chest bone and softly out. And just coming to your first tapping point, and again, just gently tapping and repeating. I feel responsible for everyone else. I feel anxious if they're not happy. I want to rush in and help everyone. It's such a strong urge. When they're unhappy, I feel anxious. It doesn't feel safe. I've got to make it better. It feels like it's mine to carry. It feels so heavy. It feels so exhausting. It feels like their happiness is more important than mine. I feel guilty if I don't help them. I feel shame if they're not happy. I feel like they'll be disappointed in me. They rely on me. That can feel really good. It's like I matter. So I've got to be helpful. So much guilt when I'm not. But the weight of this is exhausting. So today I open up to letting go. Today it's not my responsibility to keep everybody else happy. Then a deep breath in with a gentle tap across your chest and softly out. And back to your first tapping point. This feels like my responsibility. I have to look after everybody else. They won't like me if I don't. Doesn't feel safe when they're not happy. They might reject me. They might think I'm selfish. They might think I'm a bad person. All this fear and anxiety. Keeping everybody else happy. Feel like I'm losing myself. Maybe it's safe to let this go today. It's safe to let this go today. Today I let go of the responsibility of everybody else's happiness. I am safe. And just another tap across the chest and a deep breath in. And softly out. And just coming back to your first tapping point. It's my role to look after everybody else. I have to be the fixer. They won't like me if I don't. I won't be useful if I don't. Feels like my value is attached to me helping others. So I'm scared to let this go. Because it makes me feel useful. It's like I'm earning love. Maybe I don't need to earn that anymore. Maybe it's not my job to be useful. Maybe it's enough just to be me. I'm opening to the possibility that I'm still completely lovable, even if I'm not being helpful. Today I let go of this role. This heavy burden I've been carrying. Today I choose to be free of it. Today I have permission to let go of this role. I am not responsible for other people's happiness. I am responsible for my happiness. And that's okay. I am safe now. Releasing this heavy burden. Today I'm free. And a deep breath with a gentle tap across your chest. And softly out. And back to this point. Feels like I was taught this role. I was told to do this. I had love removed if I didn't. I was given this burden. I didn't choose it. That poor child. They never deserve such a heavy weight. This was never mine to carry. This role was never about my needs. And I'm not a child anymore. I get to choose my role. And this role hurts me. Today I let go of this role. I release the burden I was given. This is not mine to carry. I shouldn't have carried it for so long. I didn't know any different. I see it clearly now. It is not my job to fix others. I release that job role today. It's safe to let this go. I'm allowed to let this go. I am safe. And again, a nice gentle tap across the chest. And softly out. And just back for a final round. Today I let go of this responsibility. I see it was never mine in the first place. Today I'm allowed to be free of this. My worth isn't about being useful. I'm not fixing anyone else anymore. I trust them to look after themselves. I trust that this will turn out well. My life is going to change from this. I'm so ready for that. My relationships are going to deepen from this. I'm so looking forward to that. My relationships are going to become balanced and equal. My needs are important. My boundaries are essential. My happiness is my priority. Today it's safe to change. I give myself permission. I am safe. I choose to know that's true. I can feel that I am lighter. I choose to trust that's okay. I am responsible for my happiness. And today that is my priority. And a deep breath in again. And softly out. And give your shoulders a bit of a wriggle, your hands a bit of a tickle around. And just breathe and release. And think back to how you felt at the beginning of the session when you were thinking about rushing in and being responsible for everybody else's happiness. And just note what's changed, what's shifted. And this is a big change in your life. So do repeat this process and you can add in your own words. And if there's certain areas which feel more important, then repeat those bits over and over. And do check out my channel because I do have a lot of videos which will support this transformative journey of putting your needs into first place on the top of your list. And I would love to hear your experiences, whether or not it's with this video or around situations where you just feel that you were so responsible for other people's happiness, or maybe how you've managed to change them. And do subscribe and like, and check out all my other channels. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing you again and delving even deeper into this guilt trip and guilt relationship, which can really damage our lives. And I'm wishing you a day filled with peace and ease.